Have you ever pondered about the enigma that some individuals carry with them? The peculiar ability that stirs curiosity, the one that lets them persuade others effortlessly, like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Have you ever found yourself captivated by their charm, their words, their demeanor that draws you in? Compelling, isn't it? Makes you question, what is it that makes them so enchanting, so convincing? This ability to persuade isn't just about words or speeches, it's more, much more. It's about a certain charisma, a certain aura that these individuals possess. It's about that unexplained confidence that they carry around, a sense of trust they instill, an aura of credibility that they create wherever they go. Is it their body language, their tone, their expressions, or is it the conviction in their voice that makes us listen, makes us believe? Is it the way they connect with their audience on an emotional level? The way they mold their speech to fit the mood of the room? Is it the way they subtly influence the listener's thoughts, gently steering their beliefs and perceptions? Or is it the way they cleverly appeal to the listener's logic and intellect? Could it be their unique ability to tell stories, to paint vivid pictures in the minds of their listeners, or their knack for getting their point across using simple, understandable words? These questions continue to baffle us, making us delve deeper into the psychology of influence. Is the ability to persuade an art, something that comes naturally to people, something they are born with? Or is it a science, a systematic technique that can be learned and mastered over time? Or could it be a blend of both? For instance, consider the art of persuasion. It's about the ability to captivate, to enchant. The art is in the way these individuals weave their words together, the way they use their timing and pauses, the way they use metaphors and analogies to make their point. On the other hand, the science of persuasion is about understanding human psychology, about knowing what triggers people to respond, what makes them tick. It's about using proven techniques and strategies to get people on your side. So, is it an art, a science, or a blend of both? It's a thought-provoking question, isn't it? Each side has its own merits, its own unique contributions, but perhaps it's the blend of both an art and a science that truly makes these individuals so persuasive, so compelling. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a magical ability to persuade others? What makes them so compelling? Is it an art, a science, or a blend of both? Consider the case of Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. Jobs was globally acclaimed for his uncanny ability to persuade people, a skill that was not limited to just his employees but also extended to the media, the market, and the public in general. The power of Steve Jobs' persuasion was so profound that it led to the coining of the term reality distortion field, a term that many say was a fitting description of his influence. This reality distortion field was Jobs' unique ability to bend people's perception and convince them of almost anything he set his mind to. But one begs the question, was this a gift he was born with, an innate ability that graced his personality, or was it a skill he meticulously carved and honed over the due course of time? The answer to this may not be as black and white as it appears, but one thing is certain: Steve Jobs' persuasion tactics were deeply rooted in the science of psychology, a subject that he seemed to have a profound understanding of. Jobs was a master of understanding the human psyche. He knew power of scarcity and exclusivity, and he effectively used this knowledge to his advantage. He was aware that limiting the supply of new products could dramatically increase their perceived value in the eyes of consumers. This in turn would create a heightened demand for the product, making it seem more desirable and exclusive. But that's not all. Jobs was more than just a shrewd businessman. He was also a mesmerizing storyteller who managed to capture the imagination of millions with his words. Each new Apple product was not just a piece of technology, but a narrative spun by Jobs. He made each new seem like a revolutionary step forward, a breakthrough that was set to change the world of technology as we know it. The true genius of Steve Jobs was not just his innovative mind, but the way he managed to wrap it in a cloak of compelling storytelling and persuasive communication, making each new Apple product seem like a revolutionary step forward. Another enticing example to cite originates from the bustling world of advertising. In the early part of the 20th century, an influential figure named Edward Bernays, who is renowned as the father of public relations, diligently used the principles of psychology in order to bring about a change in the public opinion. Bernays was not your typical pitchman. He was something else. He was an interpreter of the human mind, a manipulator of public opinion, and a master of mass persuasion. Bernays built his illustrious career on the premise that people could be persuaded to believe or behave in certain ways if the right psychological buttons were pushed. One of his most powerful and influential campaigns was geared towards females and the habit of smoking. In a society where it was largely considered a male habit and was frowned upon for women, Bernays swiftly changed that perception. He launched a campaign that painted the image of smoking as a symbol of independence and personal freedom for women, a provocative notion at that time. With this, he managed to persuade a large number of women that smoking was not only acceptable, but it was a bold statement of their autonomy and liberation. This led to a dramatic and significant increase in the number of female smokers, effectively creating a whole new demographic for tobacco companies to market products. This revolutionary shift didn't occur through mere intuition or guesswork on Bernays' part. He methodically employed the scientific method, heavily leaning on intensive research and study to understand the deepest fears, desires, and motivations of people. He delved into the core of the consumers' minds, understanding what makes them tick, what drives them, what fears they had, and what they desired the most. Then, using this profound understanding, he formulated compelling messages. Crafted with care and precision, these messages resonated deeply with his audience, evoking powerful emotions that drove them to action. Bernays' approach didn't rely on intuition or guesswork. Instead, he employed the scientific method, leveraging robust research to understand the fears, desires, and motivations of people. It was with this vital information he then went on to construct compelling messages that resonated with his audience. So what can we learn from these examples and studies? The first and perhaps most significant lesson is a critical understanding of persuasion as a concept. Persuasion is not just a matter of chance or inherent talent, but it is as much a science as it is an art. This fascinating blend of art and science demands not only a delicate touch of creativity and spontaneity, but also a comprehensive and deep understanding of human psychology and the various factors that significantly influence our decision-making processes. The realm of persuasion is complex and multifaceted, and one key aspect is that effective persuasion involves storytelling. It's not merely about presenting bare facts and data, but it's about crafting an engaging narrative that people can connect with deeply. By creating a compelling narrative that weaves together emotion, logic, and experience, you significantly increase the likelihood of your audience buying into your ideas, concepts, or products. It's about painting a picture that resonates with their imagination, making your proposition not just a proposal but an experience. The third lesson from these cases is the immense power of scarcity and exclusivity. This principle is based on the human tendency to desire what is scarce or hard to acquire. When something is perceived as limited in availability or exclusive in terms of access, it instantly becomes more desirable, more attractive, and more coveted. This potent psychological trigger can arouse curiosity, increase perceived value, and drive people to take action. Lastly, and most importantly, persuasion is not about manipulation. It's not about tricking or making them do something against their will. Instead, it's about understanding others, genuinely connecting with them on an emotional level, and presenting your ideas in a way that resonates with their values and beliefs. It's about helping them see the world from your perspective while respecting their autonomy and individuality. Persuasion, at its best, is about building bridges of empathy, understanding, and mutual respect. In conclusion, the art and science of persuasion is a powerful tool that, when used ethically, can lead to positive change. Whether you're a marketing professional looking to improve your campaign strategy or an individual hoping to influence others, understanding these principles can make a significant difference. Remember, like any powerful tool, the art and science of persuasion should be used responsibly. It's not about tricking people into doing what you want, but about communicating in a way that aligns with their needs and desires. So the next time you find yourself needing to persuade someone, consider these principles. Understand your audience. Tell a compelling story, create a sense of exclusivity, and above all, respect the power of persuasion. It is indeed both an art and a science, as fascinating as it is effective.